1051.
Now I've got you knocked up from a one-night stand, and I've got the dreamer across town who's trying to keep hope alive with 2 kids out of wedlock.
Perfect timing. I'm sure you know my lovely co-anchor, Miss Charlotte Solomon.
I think Charlie's having an affair, man.
What a pleasant surprise.
It's Power 1051, home of the Breakfast Club, Angie Martinez, and that hip-hop and R&B is your main man, EmEz. It's the Sunday sit-down, and this afternoon, this evening, or whenever you decide to tune in, I have Kiara C. Jones in the building.
Hello.
Director. Hello, how are you?
I'm so good. So happy to be here.
As I was reading your bio, the first thing that struck me was this line right here. The daughter of a Bronx-Brooklyn love story.
Yes.
Can you explain that to me?
Both my parents are from New York.
Uh-huh.
My dad grew up in Brooklyn. My mother's from the Bronx. They met on the 2 train on the way to a Michael Jackson concert.
Oh.
The rest is history.
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Now, how did you get into directing?
So directing was sort of an evolution for me. I started kind of like you in broadcast radio and television.
You chopped me. I was gonna get there, but go ahead.
I did broadcast radio and television for a while in the United States Air Force, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Then I did live shows and events in Las Vegas, and then I sort of wanted to find a space where I could transition into telling my own stories and using the skills and talents that I had in storytelling and production and film and editing and all those sorts of things. And so film was the next logical step for me. So I applied to graduate film school at NYU, and they let me in.
Really?
Bad move.
Now, what skills did you use in radio and TV that helped you along the way in directing?
It's all about paying attention to people. Being an observer. You have an audience, even though you don't get to see them when you're on the radio right now. They're out there, and I'm sure that when you're programming your music, when you're thinking of what you're going to talk about, who you're going to talk to, you're constantly thinking about your audience and thinking about what their awarenesses are, what their issues are, what their concerns are, what's keeping them up at night, what's exciting them right now. And so those sorts of skills come to me as a writer and as a director in delivering stories back out to the people.
Okay, now, since I've gotten into radio, I listen to radio totally differently.
Yeah.
Now, as a director, you must watch TV and movies differently than most people. Give me something that you see and you're like, oh, he's such a newbie or something like that.
No, everything though. People who live with me don't like to watch movies with me because you can't just enjoy it anymore. You're always watching and picking apart things. What's really interesting now is that I know a lot of actors, and I've auditioned them or met them in public, and so when I see them on the screen, I'm checking to see, are they actually performing? Are they just bringing themselves to the table? Are they only one note? Is the thing that they brought me in the audition the only thing that they're able to deliver?
Gotcha.
So I use that information, sort of my stealth.
Yeah.
Check in with talent, see how things are going.
On YouTube, shout out to Cinema Sins. It's the YouTube channel, and they pick out little discrepancies in different scenes of movies and things like that. Is that something you find yourself doing?
No, because I hate that. Because in the course of making a movie, so many things happen, and you're never shooting things in order. You're shooting things, out of order, scenes out of order, emotions out of order, and when people sit there and pick apart. But I will say it's kind of like Inception. The thing is, once the audience notices you mess something up, then they start picking stuff apart. So the idea is to stay as clean as long as you possibly can, and avoid those moments as much as possible. But it's going to happen in a movie. Even the best, the greatest, will tell you that if they get 85% of what they want to happen on the screen, then they'll feel successful.
Really? So why would you say 85%?
Oh, because I asked Martin Scorsese that one time, and
Oh.
that's what his answer was. I mean, I was lucky enough to be, in a talk back with him, and I was like, when you look at your body of work, do you feel like, yes, I got that one? And he was like, no, and you always have a vision, and somewhere between, films get cut 3 times. You write it, and then you shoot it. That's a re-editing of the entire script. And then when you edit it, there's a re-editing of the entire shoot. And so, and then there's interpretation by the audience that happens, which is completely outside of what I could sit here right now and say the color red to you, and what you see in your head is maybe different than what I see in mine. So, in that reality of understanding that you're making a medium that's going to be interpreted by the masses, you have to understand that, things are not always going to come out the way that you initially planned. You just hope that most of your intentions are coming across the board.
I wanted to be a director out of high school.
Still can.
I think I made the right choice in radio.
There's always time.
Really? Why say that?
Because life is long, it's not like we used to die at 35. You know what I mean?
True.
If you think about it, you get 3 lifetimes. If you care, if you eat right and are healthy and take care of yourself, you can do one thing from 1 to 35, do another thing from 35 to 70, and do something else after that. I look forward to the days, maybe when I'm done filmmaking, I'm probably going to go back and learn to play piano, like all kind of stuff that I didn't do. Or maybe I have a son now, so when he learns, maybe I'll learn with him, But the idea that you're just going to have one career, take one journey on one path, I don't think that's our reality anymore.
So what's your downtime like when you're not directing or creating and doing things of that nature?
Did I mention my 4-year-old son?
Yes, that's why I asked you. Because I just recently had a son. He's 8 months, and he's a terror already.
There's no downtime.
None.
I used to think there was going to be this thing. It was like, like me, like you draw your Venn diagrams, like me, my work, my, extracurricular activities, my friends, my son. I thought he was just going to be another one of those satellite circles. No. He went right on top of the me circle and sucked, so.
And you become one.
Well, everything goes through him. Everything goes through him. My work goes through him. My friends go through him. Like every time I want to spend with anybody else, every decision that I make, every money that I make is all, based on the idea that this is going to affect another human being significantly. These minutes that I'm spending with you right now, I'm not with him. Mm-hmm. It's Sunday evening. So, this is something that I have to be aware of.
Got you. Now, talk to me about some of your current projects you're working on now.
So right now, I have a feature film that's out. It's called Christmas Wedding Baby.
Yes, I've heard about
it's out on Netflix. You can watch it on Netflix right now. It's going to be on BET and Centric this coming week for the holidays. BET on the 22nd at 10 a.m. Centric on the 26th, day after Christmas at 7:30 p.m. Check your local listings. I'm also working on. I can't just gloss over that film. Christmas Wedding Baby is an amazing film. It's a romantic comedy. It's about 3 women and their mother, 3 sisters and their mother, 4 women in 4 dynamically different stages of their life who are closing the gap between the women they are, the women they want to be, and the women society is telling them that they should be. So if you like dramas that really get into the psyche of what it is to be a black female, this is good for you. If you like dramas that deal with real issues of family without being melodramatic or hyper dramatized, this is a great film for you. And it's not just for black people. I always say this is a film for all people. So if you love movies, if you like Christmas movies, you like holiday movies, check us out. Give us 5 stars on you got to get those stars up on Netflix. And the cast is brilliant. One of the most successful things about this film is the cast. We have Lisa Rendell Anderson, Maria Howell, Stephen Hill, Francis Turner, Kimberly Drummond, who plays our young lead. It's one of her first lead roles as like the leading lady, along with Sawandi Wilson, who plays our lead male. Jason Vinderis. The list just goes on, and they all bring really passionate performances to the table that you will remember. You'll be thinking about them after the movie's over, which was one of my goals in making the film. I wanted to open the conversation up about what is going on with women right now and what's happening to us in society. So I'm happy the film is doing that.
Have you seen Chirac?
I have seen Chirac.
I asked that question because it kind of documented the women and what they were going through in the movie and how they were withholding the goods to these men. Correct? That is the premise of the movie, right? I didn't get that wrong?
That is the premise on the movie, based on the Greek tragedy. Mm-hmm. Yes, and an actuality that happened in Africa in our recent history. So, Chirac is an interesting film. I enjoy the film. People ask me all the time, "What did you think of the film?" Because I sort of, I guess people consider me sort of a feminist. I don't know if a feminist is the right word. But I'm definitely pro chick. So
okay.
I'm pro chick. And so they come to me and they go, "What did you think of Chirac?" And I think it's classic Spike Lee. And the thing is, Spike Lee is an artist. And if you watch his film, if you understand his work, if you've seen the work that he's done, and you see this film, you go, "Yep, Spike." Mm-hmm. And he has a right to be an artist. Unfortunately, as black filmmakers, we often get sort of weighted down with the task of being documentarians and historians in all of our work, as if our work has to be the visual representation of every African American out there, because we've been so poorly represented in the media in our past. However, I think that now that the medium has become more open, we have the ability to tell more stories, more types of stories, and we should all get out there and tell our stories. Everybody has the right to tell their stories, and I think Spike's doing what Spike does, and he did it the way he does it best.
Got you. Now, The Wiz was recently on TV, and we have a lot of black leads on TV these days, from ABC to Fox, with your Gabrielle Unions and what's the lady's name? I keep forgetting. What's her name?
How to Get Away with Murder?
Viola
Davis.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost it for a second. Yes. Now, how do you feel about the black representation now? Because it seems like we're coming out from the darkness. They're putting black women more on the front street. How do you feel about that as a feminist yourself?
Well, a lot
Kidding,
of the
not
stories
really.
that are out there that feature black women in the leads are not necessarily African American female driven stories, as in they're not dealing with most of the issues that African American females are dealing with right now. Viola Davis is not your standard black female. Now, that's not to say we shouldn't have a black shero out there doing amazing things and, Kerry Washington, go for it. But those shows are not dealing with the issues of the black community. Now, if you're watching Being Mary Jane, now that is a show that really deals with the complexities. I mean, there are so many
That's the
complexities.
Gabrielle Union one.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
If you're watching if you haven't watched Being Mary Jane, it's on Netflix. Start with the first season. Watch the whole thing. I mean, it's so worth your time and energy because not only do they address black female issues, they address politics and social issues and world news dramas. It's really a beautifully crafted show, well written. The kills are just amazing. I mean, they've done so much to the game and so many other things. You'll begin to notice there's a pattern in the things that you like and the directors, or the writers that you're interested in. If you look at who's writing this stuff and who's delivering these materials, the kills do great work. And that show, that show does not get the props it deserves.
What do you watch on TV these days?
It's interesting. By the time I get through watching my own stuff and the stuff that my friends are making, it's hard. It's hard to find time for other things. But I do like Being Mary Jane. People have been getting me on that new Netflix show that I can't think of the name of right now. It'll come to me in a minute. But I watch a lot of. I'm like catching up, okay? Because when you're making a movie, you can't stop and watch other people's stuff. It's really hard. And I'm in development of my new project right now, Manhattan Millionaire, which we're in the script is fully written. We just had a reading with great talent and that sort of thing. So most of my mind is focused on delivering new materials to the audiences. I still love my Law and Order. I got my classic shows.
Definitely
my go-to. Like, I can't sleep in the middle of the night. What am I gonna watch? Those kinds of things.
It says that you got your threw me off. Your opportunity in LA to produce the show in LA. How did you come upon that?
So, you mean the Sony project?
Yes.
Okay, so Sony has, as you know, there's a huge problem with diversity in Hollywood. So every network, Sony, ABC, NBC, HBO, they all have these diversity programs that are designed to help integrate the industry with fledgling talent.
Why'd you laugh when you said fledgling talent?
Because I used to say young, but I don't know where the young line is at anymore, and I don't know if I'm still in it, but I will just call it fledgling talent. And so, you submit previous works, write an essay, and, they select people. And the Sony program that I went through had me coming into LA and meeting with writers and directors, people who are working on really amazing shows like, I like Survivor's Remorse. That's a show that I watch.
Okay.
Blackish, all kinds of these kinds of shows. That's actually an ABC show, not a Sony show. But to sort of integrate us with people, introduce us to people, and give us the opportunity to let them know that we're here and we're available to work. Now, whether or not that actually begets work, we shall see. You get the opportunity to shadow on a show, meet lots of executives and that sort of thing. I think at the end of the day, no one thing is going to, make or change or break your career. It's all just a series of moments that sort of connect and align themselves like a constellation. And but this is a pretty big star, to be selected for the Sony program. They only picked 15 people to come into the program. And I was really happy to be one of them.
So where's the pinnacle of directing? Like, where's the goal that you're trying to reach right now? What's the achievement?
See, for me, I would love to say, it's winning an Oscar or, having a big blockbuster Hollywood film or whatever. But for me, the reason why I got into this is so that I could tell stories that were important to me. So as long as I'm still staying in the space where I'm allowed to sort of play my music, I'm sure you hear artists come in here and say that all the time, I feel like I'm still winning. Because, the talent is there to go out and write different stuff and write stuff for other people and do that sort of thing. But at this stage, what makes me most happy is being able to tell the stories that I'm interested in and discuss topics that I'm interested in and put that stuff out there to sort of change the face of what's happening in media. I want to go back to one of your earlier questions. You were talking about, the black faces on the television, that sort of thing. And I felt like, we've really had some great successes with that. And now that I have a small black boy that I'm raising, the number of impressions that are on television in a day or in the media is astounding to me. And I'm constantly changing the channel, turning that off, turning this on, checking to see who's doing what. Who in the circle of friends is the smart kid? Who, is the black kid just the sidekick? Or is, even on the smallest shows, Little Einstein, Sesame Street, all of these shows, you have to check in.
Even the commercials on Nickelodeon, I'm sorry. There's way too many girl stuff on Nickelodeon, fam. 4 or 5 commercials. I gotta have a little son. It's My Little Princess. Now they're singing a girl song, and now it's pink all over the TV. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, yo, I need to switch this off. I need the more manly stuff for my little boy to watch.
Watch Blaze.
Yes, Blaze. Absolutely.
Blaze.
Paw
Blaze,
Patrol.
who has a brother. The brother drives the truck, right? So which is why we get to watch Blaze, and they talk about really high end scientific things like acceleration. Anyways. But my point is, I'm thinking, we're doing so much better. There are brown people, there are brown characters. I remember as a child there not being any there at all. But The Wiz came on, and my son came, reminded me he's not getting enough of that. It's still not enough. He's still not seeing himself in the reflected images that are on TV and in movies. So we got to work on that. It's
the Sunday sit down. Kiara, Jones, C. Jones is in the building. I appreciate you for coming by. How can they get in contact with you? The Instagrams, the Twitters, the emails?
All of it. Cultivated Films. Cultivated Films is the website, the Gmail, the Instagram, www.cultivatedfilms.com. Come check us out. Facebook me. It's all me. I'm the big show. I am the man behind the mask. So if you email or check in, you'll probably hear back from me in a timely manner.
So I'm going to be checking out Netflix tonight for the Christmas Baby, right?
Christmas Wedding Baby.
Christmas Wedding
on
Baby.
Netflix right now.
Got you. Tonight on Netflix. I'm going to check it out. Thank you for coming by once again. Kiara C. Jones. This is terrible. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Another example of how easy does it. Who y'all want? Oh yeah. Why not take all of me? Who y'all come to see? Yeah.
Power 105.1.